Okay, I am back. I didn't mean to just kind of go blank on you, but I was out of town for work, and with the current climate, I kind of decided to not say anything about it. Um, yeah, just with the way the political climate is, I'd rather just keep that to myself. So you don't know. I might be being a bum playing Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty anymore. Call of Duty's woke. Or I might not be home, but you'll never know. Am I pale? I don't know. Anyway, so since I was gone, there's been there's been a bunch of National Guard stuff. I'm not talking about it. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing about the National Guard. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm tired of all of it. Right now, I don't care. You're gonna jiggle for a second. My table is like my table's slightly twisted. I'm gonna get something under it to like even it out. I don't care about the National Guard stuff. I'm letting the National Guard stuff go so that I can give you here's what happened. And instead of I sort of got for like the past 4 or 5 days, it's just been National Guard, National Guard, National Guard, National Guard. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't give a shit about it. Don't care about the National Guard. So if you're expecting me to talk about it, unless something big happens, probably not saying anything for the next couple days about it because I just don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. In the meantime, we got Candace Owens. I don't know what happened to Candace because at one point I thought Candace was like president material, and now she has just gone a little kooky. I think she's lost it. I think she has. I don't know. I think here's what I think. I think that ever since she left Daily Wire, I think there was a bad interaction with Ben, and that has caused her to dislike all the Jews, and she's become a the Jews person. She just like anything that can happen happened because of the Jews. So we're gonna watch that because why not? She's gonna say that the Jews killed Charlie Kirk, and then we're gonna talk about the mayor of fuck, mayor of Chicago. That's right. I was going to say the mayor of Johnson, but I'm like, no, his name's Johnson. No, it's the mayor of Chicago. I blanked there. I went full retard. I'm sorry. I've been out for a few days and I just forget how to do my job. I will do better in the future. Probably not, but you know, let's get into it. Let's listen to Candace make a fool of herself. I really just want to know what happened to Candace Owens though, because like I was so sure at one point that like Candace could have been president, and now I'm just like, she's gone kooky. She's lost it. She's not winning right now. She's not doing too hot. I really like question Candace's mental health right now. Anyway, let's.
And others knew that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh.
Okay, so I just want to point out, it says not Candace. It says like we just lost $2 million a year. Fuck, like shit, you know, like Candace is gonna spin this all about her.
Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay? So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were...
Okay, I just have to ask. Why is Candace doing this? Why is she so anti-Jew now? She blames everything on the Jews. Obviously, she didn't directly say that the Jews killed Charlie, but, Charlie stopped being pro-Israel 48 hours before he was murdered. Is that a coincidence? Yes, of course that's a coincidence. The Jews people are very fucking annoying.
Pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in one honorable thing, come out and said, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell in the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that?
Obviously, the answer is because they're bought and paid for by the Jews. Obviously, Candace. Why have you become such a the Jews person? You're very, very awful now. You used to be so wonderful and so smart, and I enjoyed watching Candace so much. I mean, and I'm not saying she's not smart. No, she's a very smart woman, very successful woman, and it just blows my mind that she is just fucking like a rabid dog every time someone says Israel did it. It's talking Israel. Like she's just losing her mind every single time Israel gets brought up. It doesn't matter what the story is. The story could be Trump tied a balloon into a dog, and it's because Bibi Netanyahu likes dogs. It's not everything has something to do with Israel. I'm sorry to tell you, Candace, but not everything revolves around Israel. I mean, anything that happens, she's like, because of Israel. Yeah, that happened because Israel. It's like, no, Candace, no, things happen. Not everything is because Israel. Do some things happen because Israel? Yeah, of course. Of course things happen because Israel. Israel exists. Yeah, things happen because Israel. I just I can't do the... I just can't do the because Israel thing. I just can't get it. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. Marxist Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson announces executive order creating ICE-free zones, banning agents under assault from arresting criminal illegals. I don't know what that means. Let's read. Marxist Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson made clear today that there's no place for ICE in the Windy City, even as they came under assault by his fellow left-wing extremists. This is from the Gateway Pundit. As the Gateway Pundit's Cassandra McDonald reported, federal immigration agents have come under horrific assault by leftist thugs while carrying out their duties in the Chicago area last weekend. In one incident, agents were ambushed and rammed by 10 cars in Broadview, Illinois on Saturday morning. Officers were forced to fire defensive shots at one assailant. Oh, is that what that said? No, it didn't. Where was I? Okay. Officers were forced to fire defensive shots at one assailant, a U.S. citizen woman armed with a semi-automatic weapon. The brazen assault, along with others, comes amid President Donald Trump's aggressive deportation push under Operation Midway Blitz, a targeted enforcement surge against criminal illegal immigrants in the Chicago area. So obviously, yeah, we know what's going on. We get the gist of the story. People like Mayor Johnson want a civil war. They want to bring it back. They think it's a fun thing, I guess. Like, why do you want people to die, Brandon? Let's listen to him. Here's a clip from Jesse Waters.
Democrats are telling us they want a rematch of the Civil War.
The right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
That's literally not a true statement at all. The President of the United States of America made a promise to remove illegal immigrants from this country, and that's what he's doing.
Want a rematch. The president hasn't declared war on anyone, but they've declared him public enemy number one.
It is time to recognize that while you thought...
Yeah, I like Jesse Waters. I'm not a big Fox guy. I think generally that Fox is kind of controlled opposition, but I do like Jesse Waters. Yeah, so he says the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I got a couple questions regarding that. This don't need anymore. And this is specifically for the mayor of Chicago. Now, you've essentially made it illegal to own a firearm in the city of Chicago. Most liberals, most leftists, don't want people to own guns. Okay, you following me here so far? The right is very pro-gun. We are generally the men that are willing to fight. We like martial arts and like MMA and boxing and UFC and things like that. While men on the left, they cry because it's too violent and their wives' boyfriends comfort them. I just want to know, when you compare the left and the right, and on the right you have the manly man, I like guns and fighting and I kind of know how to use these things. And then you look at the men on the left that don't know what bathroom to use. If we wanted a rematch of the Civil War, I don't think that would go well for you. So why do you keep pushing the narrative? Why do you keep pushing the Civil War narrative when your side is going to... Here's the thing, right? If we wanted a Civil War on the right, wouldn't it make more sense for us to push for more cities and people on the left to be anti-gun? Wouldn't it make more sense for us to rally behind anti-gun candidates in the cities and places that we wanted to take over? Because we could literally, if we were gonna do a civil war, we could literally just install anti-gun candidates, get them elected by backing them as with donors and things of that nature, and then have them push the anti-gun agenda, make all the guns illegal, and then we come in from places where the guns aren't illegal and just take over because nobody has guns to stop us. That's literally what Hitler did. He took the guns from the Jews and then walked in and said, well, you're going to do what I say because you don't have guns. So if on the right we wanted this round two, wouldn't it make more sense that we just let you guys ban all the guns, and then we roll in with our guns and just basically say this is ours now and you can't stop us. Also, historically, the people that ban the guns are the people that are not good. Like 100% of the time. The people that take away the ability to defend yourself, they're not the good guys. Literally ever. They've never been the good guys. Like, not once. Every time there's a disarmament attempt, it's the bad guys disarming the good guys. It's never the other way around. Like, look at any Marxist or communist, any Marxist or communist revolution. Look at the Nazis. Open a history book. This is basic knowledge. The first thing I'm going to do, if I want to control your life, is I'm going to take away your weapons. Swords, guns, whatever it is. We see it time and time again where a government says that group of people, that group should not have weapons. That group should not be able to defend themselves because there's something wrong with them, or they're bad people, or blah, blah, blah. Pick a thing. Pick a thing. Just anything you want. Pick it. And that's the reason that we disarm that group of people. And now that we've disarmed that group of people, well, we'll do whatever we want to them because we might as well. What are they going to do? Fight back? I mean, it's absurd to think that I'm taking away your weapons because I'm better at defending you than you are at defending yourself. It's an absurd thought. I'm taking away your weapons because I want power. What the fuck is that noise? It sounds like something shaking. It stopped, of course it did. Yeah, it's an absurd thought that I would take your weapons away because I can defend you better than you can defend you. Especially the farther back you go in history where technology is lessened, it makes it an even more absurd thought. Okay, go back to the 50s, even the 60s or the 70s. Cell phones don't exist. You have payphones, right? It is an absurd thought to think, I'm going to take your guns from you and I'm going to make it safer for you by taking your gun from you so that when someone tries to rob you, murder you, kill you, whatever it is, you don't have a weapon on you to defend yourself. You have to run to the nearest payphone and call for help. That is an absurd thought. Go back another 100 years to the 1850s, where you have telegram. Or not. Yeah, telegram. You go back to the 1850s where you have telegram. I'm going to take your guns away and I'm going to make it safer for you. To the point where you have to ride to the telegram station and hope that there's someone there that can send for help, or you have to ride a horse to the sheriff's office. You have to go to the sheriff and hope he's there if you're disarmed. It's not working out very well. Go back another 100 years to 1750. We're going to take your weapons away. And it takes weeks for you to sail across the ocean to request help from England, where they then have to rally the troops and sail back for the course of a few weeks or months, or I don't know how long it took to sail. We'll just, for argument's sake, we'll say it took a month and a half. That's 3 months minimum before you get help in 1750. You see the absurdity of disarming people? So it goes from 3 months to, it might be a day. The sheriff might be out of town for a week. Over 100 years, we get to the cowboy era, the Civil War era. Another 100 years, it's okay, well, there's a payphone on every corner, so, just try to get mugged on the corner, I guess. To today, where it's, well, everyone's got a cell phone in their pocket, so just call the cops while you're getting mugged, I guess, because that's not just going to piss the mugger off and get you fucking killed on the spot. You know, like, I mean, it never makes sense. No matter how you slice it, disarming people never makes sense. People that want to take your guns away are never the answer. So you have Marxist Mayor Brandon Johnson, who has disarmed his city, or at least kept his city disarmed. I don't think he's the one that started disarming Chicago, but he's kept Chicago disarmed. And he says the right wants a civil war. I'm not going to let my people have guns. If I were a mayor, and we'll just assume that I'm the mayor of Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't allow guns. I'm the mayor of Cleveland, and I say the left wants to kill you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ban your guns so that you can't defend yourself. There's a group of people that wants a rematch of the Civil War. They want to hurt you. They want to harm you. And I'm going to take your guns away because I will keep you safe. I'd be like, what are you talking about, my guy? That's a terrible idea. No, instead I would say, hey, listen, the left wants to hurt people. The left wants to kill people for disagreeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to impose I'm going to lift any bans on carrying firearms, ammo capacity, no more bans in the city. Carry what you must to defend you and yours. Because when you need the police, they're not there. When you need a guy with a gun, there's no guy with a gun. So you have to be the guy with a gun sometimes. I mean, it's just basic common sense. I think that's the problem with the left, is they don't have common sense. There is no common sense on the left. That's why if you look at, everyone's wigging out about these podcast bros that like turn their back on Trump. They were never Trump people. They were never conservatives. They saw that Trump was winning and they were like, well, I better jump on that train. And then they saw Trump was doing podcasts and they were like, well, obviously I have to get Trump on. You think for a minute Theo Von has legit political opinions? Theo Von don't give a shit what's going on. Theo Von's that guy. I'm just here to hang out and have a good time. Theo Von don't care about fucking politics. He's not a political guy. If he were a political guy, he would be doing politics. He does a show and talks about comedy and goofs off and jokes about getting high and getting turned into an owl, homie. I mean, it just makes no sense to me that everyone's like upset that all these comedians that like interviewed Trump or whatever, all these podcast guys that interviewed Trump are like, well, yeah, I don't like what he did. Like, I voted for him, but I'm not a fan of this. And it's like, well, because you didn't know what you were voting for, dummy. It just, the level of people that are just uninformed. Like, I really, like, it's a common sense thing. There's no common sense on the left. They didn't interview Trump and say they were going to vote for Trump because they believed in MAGA. There's no common sense. They don't know why it's a good thing to remove illegal immigrants. They said they were going to vote for Trump because the alternative option was Kamala Harris. And they all saw how unpopular Harris was, and they were like, there's no way I can vote for her. If I vote for her, no one will come to my show. I have to say I'm not voting for her. So I'll interview Trump. I'll talk to Trump. And then I'll vaguely imply that I'm going to vote for him. And then in 6 months, I'll be like, yeah, I voted for him, but I don't like that he's kicking Pablo out because that just doesn't seem fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Pablo doesn't belong here. It's not Pablo's place. I have a story. Well, this is more of just an observation I've made. So, I do a lot of work hauling Connex boxes and things of that nature to construction sites. I've been doing this job for, I started the last 4th of July, so a year and a half or so. And I have noticed in that year and a half, last year, I've been on a lot of construction sites. The number of Spanish-speaking people has increased. The number of Latino men on these job sites is astounding. Like, I went to a job today. There were 3 people there. 3 of them were Spanish-speaking Latinos. I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they were legal citizens, if they were illegal. I don't know. I just find it odd that there's been an increase in Spanish speakers, shall we say. Hispanics on job sites. People of Hispanic descent on job sites. I wonder how many of them are here legally and how many of them are not. I would laugh my ass off if I saw an ice truck roll up while I'm dropping off a ConExpo. That would be hilarious. Anyway, I do have one more story that I want to talk about. Let me pull this up real quick. I forgot that I wanted to talk about this. Where is it at? So, if you aren't familiar with the Lore Lodge, they are a how do you describe the Lore Lodge? They talk about paranormal and disappearances and all kinds of stuff. Where is it? It's probably been a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I think. What? That's not what I typed. I hate computers. Is this it? No, that's not what I wanted to do. God damn it. I hate doing things on the computer because I don't know how to do things on the computer. So to make a long story short, here it is. So the podcast episode is titled "YouTube Has a Clanker Problem." Let me talk to you for a minute. So Aiden Mattis is the main host. Aiden Thornberry is the secondary host of the Lore Lads podcast. To put it simply, AI stole Aiden Mattis's voice and said terrible things about the disappearance of Gabby Petito. I don't remember the details enough of Gabby Petito's disappearance to explain it well, but to make a long story short, she went out camping, I believe, or hiking or something of that nature, and she was murdered by her boyfriend at the time. And he played along for quite a while. Aiden Mattis got in touch with the family and did a lot of coverage on Gabby Petito's disappearance and murder. And this AI channel used Aiden's voice to basically say pretty terrible things about Gabby's death and disappearance. Or disappearance and death, rather. Because she disappeared and then was found dead. At a certain point, Aiden gets a hold of YouTube and says, "Hey, YouTube, what the hell? My likeness is being used here. Copyright this." And YouTube said, "No, you can't trademark your voice, bro," which is not true. You can totally trademark your voice. So Aiden says, this is my voice, my likeness being used. This is an AI, not an impersonation, not a likeness. This is AI using Aiden's words. and to say things that he never said. Now, I want to rewind. Let's go back a couple months, a year, when Tim Pool said, actually, this was before the election. Tim Pool said this a few times, that AI was going to get so good, there would be two versions of the same clip. And the one Tim used as an example was the Very Fine People hoax, where they would change one word. And the AI would be so good that it would change one word, and you wouldn't be able to tell which one was the original. And he said they would change it from, and I'm not talking about white supremacists and neo-Nazis who should be condemned totally, to, and I'm not talking about neo-Nazis and white supremacists, some of whom should be condemned totally. We've surpassed that. We blew past that to the point where AI YouTube channels exist and make ripoffs of existing YouTube channels. Let's hear Aiden talk about it for a minute. I forget.
Totally handled. I mean, yeah, I had to handle it myself, but you know.
Excuse me. I never thought clankers would be this big of an issue this early on. I'm going to be honest with you. It takes a minute, and I'm really bad at the scrubber bar. There it goes.
Okay, so the very good news is that since it's just me, I didn't have to do any work to get this up and running. It was just ready to go. I just kind of jumped in here, and here we are. Yeah, hey guys, how you doing? I am not super enthusiastic about where the camera is, actually, really quickly. Give me 1 second here. It's a little different from my setup for my personal channel. Oh, there we go. I actually also tried to flip the camera, but it didn't work for some reason, so we'll just kind of go from here, I guess. Anyway, there we go. That's a much better camera position, isn't it? I like this a lot better. There we go. Apparently it's a good time to insert ads according to YouTube, and according to YouTube, there is no clanker problem. There is no war in Ba Sing Se, folks. Everything is fine. You know, as long as you report it, it's all gonna be fine. Nobody needs to worry. It's all totally handled. I mean, yeah, I had to handle it myself, but you know, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
It takes a minute.
No, it's all
I
good.
don't remember where.
You know, it's so wonderful. 1 second, wait.
You can see in the fucking comments here, someone says it's the clanker clone. This is something that Aiden talked about.
Pop my headphones on the charger because I don't need them. So I don't know who's aware. You know, I don't know who was in the Discord when this happened the other night. But you guys know for a while I've been on an absolute anti-AI crusade. I hate AI. I think it is the worst thing to ever happen. I would give up all of the legitimate productivity uses of AI if it meant that we got rid of all of the bad parts as well.
I second that. AI is bad.
I do not personally do all that much that uses AI to function. I will occasionally use it to help me find sources for an obscure topic because it's quicker than, you know, sorting through everything myself. But I think AI generation, I think AI images, AI video, all of it is a sin, a crime against humanity. I think that it's like nuclear weapons. You know, the upsides are very few and the downsides are many. And the danger of it being used improperly is, you know, unspeakable because we've already seen people using deepfake.
We don't take too kindly to them volt-guzzling, tin-skinned, wire-back clankers around these parts. That's hilarious.
To make people say things they didn't say. We've seen it used to make people do things they didn't do. And as the world becomes more and more and more awful in every possible way, as everything becomes more divided, I can't see a world where AI is a net positive. I think it should be totally nuked, totally eliminated. But I think one of the first things that can be done, and one thing that I will be contacting my congressional representatives about, and you know, both state and federal, is that we could totally ban monetization of AI generated content if it is even if a single pixel
I'm giving it to
was
5
generated
minutes.
by
If it doesn't
AI.
get to it, then I'm not
Done.
gonna
Not
worry
monetizable.
too much about it.
I think that that's the way forward. I
But
think
I
that's
wanted
how
to
we
make
do
it
things.
known
I don't think that
that-
anyone benefits from AI content being something out in the world that you can make money off of.
I wanted to make it
Probably
known
never ever
that
change that opinion.
his
There's very little
content
anybody
was
can do
stolen.
to change my mind.
So we'll give him another minute.
And the reason I am so adamant about this, and the reason I titled the stream that YouTube has a clanker problem, which, by the way, absolutely love. I love that it took us less than 5 years to come up with a solid, good slur for AI. Because here's the thing, AI doesn't care about being called a clanker, but the people who like AI do not like being called clanker lovers. It is the first time in history, perhaps, that we've invented a slur that can only be used for good. You can't. Nobody who's not a bad person already is going to be insulted by being called a clanker lover. So I think we're making strides here. We're coming together. We're finding unity in a dark time.
I too enjoy the term.
But the
clanker.
reason I'm so upset about it at the moment is that the other night I got a message on Instagram from one of our viewers who said, "Hey, this is crazy. I found this channel. You have a voice doppelganger. This person sounds exactly like you." And I went and I clicked on the video. It was a Gabby Petito video, or at least it looked to be a Gabby Petito video. And I listened to the first like 10, 15 seconds, and I'm like, man, that really does sound a lot like me. That's wild. It was a little higher pitched than my voice typically is. A little bit different timbre. I think it sounded like me 2 years ago, is I think what I noticed. And I don't sound particularly different from how I did 2 years ago. I think that my style of speaking has maybe become a little bit more clear. The timbre of my voice, I think, has shifted just a little bit from talking so much. I talk for a living now. You kind of develop a radio voice. I don't know if I probably don't sound exactly like this or exactly the way I do when I talk on the Friday videos. When I speak normally, I probably am doing something performative at the moment, inadvertently. But the bigger issue here, the bigger issue at hand, is that I listened to about 15, 20 seconds of that video, and that's all it took for me to go, wait, this isn't somebody who sounds like me. This is my voice. This is not just my voice, it's my inflection, it's my tone, my timbre, my cadence. It was point for point me. And there were even parts of the video that, as I scrolled through it a little bit and I looked at different spots, where it was obvious that not only was this my voice, but this took parts of my script for the Gabby Petito video. The very end of it was almost a word-for-word recreation of my speech at the end of that video about Brian Laundrie, about the Laundrie family, about how awful these people are. And I saw people...
Okay, anyway, you get the point. There's the man saying it himself that clankers are stealing his content. Do not fall victim to the clanker overlords, my friends, because no, we're not going to do that here. We should not be enslaved by AI. We have rights to our intellectual property, and AI will destroy that immediately. Be aware of AI, please. I will say ChatGPT is a real pain in the dick. I use ChatGPT to generate my thumbnails, and since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, it has been a lot harder to generate images of political figures, public figures in general. Usually it won't generate images of conservatives. It just refuses. Just says, I can't do that. It violates terms of service or whatever. So even getting like the thumbnail for this video was a cartoonish Candace Owens. Even getting that was a pain in the ass. You get 5 image generation requests, not 5 image generations, 5 image generation requests. If you don't nail it within 5 requests, you're locked out of image requests for 24 hours unless you're willing to pay for ChatGPT. And I'm not going to give the clanker overlords my money. So, no. I will, however, take advantage of it until we do away with the dirty clanker lovers. It's convenient because I'm running on a short time frame. Okay, so I work 10, 12, 14 hours a day. I come home and I do the show. When you combine all the time it takes, I'm working 16, 18 hours a day sometimes. Now, a lot of times, I can roll the two jobs together. I can listen to a podcast while I'm at work. So I can kind of roll the two jobs into one. No, that was terrible. I can kind of roll the two jobs into one and make a little bit better of a situation for myself where I can save some time, but I'm still investing, 2-3 hours of my day while I'm at my day job to this 2-3-4 hours a day. So coming home and then finding an image to use for a thumbnail and then making a thumbnail. For a minute, I was making thumbnails, and there were times it took me close to an hour to make a thumbnail. I mean, that's getting a little on the long side. Not every thumbnail took me an hour to make, but there were definitely some that took close to an hour to make. Some of them, sometimes it was 10, 15 minutes, and I got it exactly how I wanted it. And on my old computer, it was a lot easier because I was on Windows 11 and I was using Microsoft Paint, and Paint had some pretty good stuff on Windows 11. This computer runs on Windows 10, however, so I lost a lot of that good stuff, and to upgrade to Windows 11, it would cost me like $200 because I would have to replace internal parts on the computer to run Windows 11, and I'm just not willing to do that right now because I don't really want to invest a ton of money into this computer because I'm not sure if this computer is going to be a stepping stone or if this computer is just going to be a forever computer. 50-50. So until I figure that out, that's just a decision I have to make, whether I'm willing to invest money into this or not. But maybe. But yeah, I wanted to make it known that this is a thing. Now, AI does have its uses. AI can be very useful. Personally, I'm not a big AI guy. Now, for things like generating a thumbnail and things like that, whatever, I don't care. But when it gets into stealing people's content, that's where I have to draw a line. And I have to say, I will go back to making my own thumbnails so that people like Aiden aren't getting their content stolen and, in a sense, their names smeared. Because there is an AI of Aiden's voice saying terrible things, and people are obviously recognizing Aiden's voice and saying, hey, Aiden, you have a voice doppelganger. His exact words, you have a voice doppelganger. Someone sounds just like you. Now, I've heard people that sound just like other people. Of course, it's a thing that happens from time to time. If that were the case and there were two people that just so happened to sound alike and one person was saying awful things and people were like, hey, you said this terrible thing. And Aiden was like, oh, no, I know what you're talking about. That's a different guy. That's John. He does a different thing than I do. We're good. No, this is theft. And then you heard him say, the end of the Clanker script and the end of his script were almost word for word. They stole his script. That means they used his video as source material and then used his script, obviously quoting the script, to generate some Clanker knockoff of the Lore Lodge. And now, again, I like the Lore Lodge. They are a really cool YouTube channel. Really fun when you're on a road trip or whatever, or if you're like me and sometimes I like to ride my dirt bike and listen to something a little spooky. I enjoy that. That's fun. Sometimes it's just fun. Like, I'll be out in the woods listening to something a little spooky and I'm like, this is kind of fun. And then it starts to get dark and I'm like, I'm going home. But that's because I'm a big chicken shit. But yeah, I wanted to make the Clanker issue. I wanted to make the Clanker issue noted. And I probably will talk about it again. I just really think that AI is not good for society. I don't. I might They have another episode of the podcast talking about this, so I might, maybe we'll just talk about that. We'll just pull it up and we'll just talk about it one day, maybe. But until then, I bid you adieu. It's a daily show. Make sure you catch it Sunday night to Thursday night or Monday morning to Friday morning. It's set up so that you can see it Monday morning to Friday morning. You get early access if you're a night owl, I guess. One day I'd like to probably make it so you can get the live show on like Patreon or whatever, and then the aftermath goes up for free. Maybe I'd do something like that down the road. I don't know. I was planning on setting up a Patreon, but I don't know what to put on the Patreon. I don't know. Maybe I can just put some behind the scenes stuff on there, or a little more silly stuff, a little less serious. Maybe if I'm out shooting or doing land nav or things I can do shorter form content on there. Or maybe I can do the shorter form content on YouTube and Rumble and do the show on Patreon. I don't know. I play with it and figure it out. I've been kicking around the idea. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it because I kind of have a hard time asking people to pay for my opinion. I don't know. But I do need to start to generate some sort of money with this because the end goal is to make this a career and build a platform. So eventually we're going to need some sort of funding. So maybe Patreon is an answer, or GoFundMe or something like that. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I will see you all in the next one. It is a daily show on both YouTube and Rumble. It wasn't supposed to be. You were originally only going to get the first segment on YouTube, and the rest of the show was going to be exclusively on Rumble. Charlie Kirk's assassination lit a fire under my ass, though, and I decided YouTube gets it all until I get banned. YouTube can take all of it. And if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you come over to Rumble, because we can say whatever we want on Rumble. We can't quite say as much on YouTube. So the show used to be a lot more intense before I started putting it on YouTube. I have toned it down a little bit because right now the message is more important, and I would rather put it out to as many people as possible. And if there's other platforms that I should be putting this on too, let me know. Put a comment, send me an email. My email is in the show notes. Everything is under sgarrettmedia. The email is sgarrettmedia at Proton Mail or something like that. I don't know. Check the show notes. It's in there in the description. Check that if you want to get a hold of me. If you have a fun, spooky story, or if you have something you want me to cover, something you want me to talk about, send an email, send a message on Instagram. I don't put a lot on Instagram. I don't really like Instagram, but Instagram is a good way to get a hold of me. I do check Instagram from time to time, probably like once every couple of weeks. So if it's not immediate, I apologize. But I can start putting aside time to check Instagram, I guess. I can start checking it once every couple of days. But yeah, email, comment. Comment's probably the best way to get a hold of me. If you send me a message on Instagram, leave a comment so that I see that you send me, because I don't have notifications turned on. I kind of hate Instagram. But yeah, do that. Send me a message on Instagram, leave a comment, let me know you sent me a message. I will for sure see that you left a comment, because I always see that when I log into Rumble. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll see you all in the next one.